Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, in whatever part of this beautiful planet you reside in. Another episode of my unique sociological intake on life, liberty, and the pursuit of my mental health. Well, it's funny. I like reading newspapers, see? And it's very interesting what you can read in the New York Times, all the news that's unfit to print. But needless to say, it's amazing how on the first page you got an article. Trump resumes U.S. Taliban talks. Let's see, Taliban. Weren't they deemed terrorists back in the day, along with ISIS? Now he's in talks with these suckers. Well, that doesn't show you how the United States does their dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Then you're as blind as a bat. And bats ain't blind. But anyway, back at the ranch, it's amazing that now I was reading an article. The president of Brazil, President Bolsonaro, is blaming Leonardo DiCaprio for the ongoing flames in the Amazon. Now, okay, let's get this straight. The guy's not exactly saying that DiCaprio's directly responsible, but he's donated X amount of millions of dollars to various NGOs, non-governmental organizations. But there's no clause in how the funds are to be used within a certain criteria. But needless to say, back at the ranch, it's another day for the jungle. Now, most people are thinking, the Amazon, the natives, and all this, they're living off the earth. Man, these people are living in abject poverty. The government of Brazil hasn't done much to help these people. Multinational corporations are destroying, cutting down trees, screwing up the environment more than what it is. It's the Amazon, it's the jungle. But man needs trees for paper. We need to grow crops to feed the millions of individuals that are being born. Now, going back to that, Bill Gates and his lovely wife with the Gates Foundation have been criticized for their so-called vaccine programs in India. Now, let's talk about a country where they don't stop having sex. They're bringing billions of more big kids and mouths to feed in a country that's already effed up, okay, because of their poor environmental protocols. I'll give you an example, the Ganges. It's blessed. They bathe in it. It's holy. But you're bathing in dog shit, cat shit, bird shit, dead bodies, because that's where they dump the cremated bodies, down the Ganges, to go into Hindu heaven, wherever that might be. But back at the ranch, the water is the most polluted that there is. It's one of the worst polluted rivers in the world. Yet these clowns are skinny dipping in it. Believe it or not. Goes to show you how common sense is. Now, aside from the fact that India is not a very environmental conscious country, not only are they destroying the environment of the subcontinent, as well as those affecting animals, wildlife, farming, it's a shame. You got Greenpeace hunting down fishing boats, capturing whales, whatever they want to capture, to protect the whale. Well, if the whale goes, who's going to notice? But the subcontinent of India, it's the most polluted as far as air quality. New Delhi, Mumbai used to be known, I was going to say Mombasa, but that's in Africa, as well as Beijing, China, and India. Two of the most polluted places you can go where they're walking around with face masks. Let's not forget the rat issue that they're having in India. For every one person, you got 100 rats. And there's a program on Netflix called Rats. Now, they actually hire rat catchers. I wonder what the benefits are of being a rat catcher. But you can't solve the problem of the rats when you don't have a system to collect the rubbish that society places on the streets. We're talking about tons of this stuff. Rats are living large. They're worse than the rats in the New York City subway. And believe me, New York City's got some serious rats. But needless to say, nothing is being done with an intelligent plan other than literally hiring rat catchers with bags and sticks to beat these suckers upside the head. You can't lay out poison because they'll adapt to the poison, as to be seen in New York City. Well, I got a good solution. Get 1 million cats, put them out on the street. But we're having, in certain countries, feral dogs. That's in India, Brazil. They're biting people. They're getting rabies. Even in Central America, I give you a good place, Costa Rica. Costa Rica is not as green a country as you might think. Now, people go there and they're wetting their panties. Oh, it's not a jungle. It's a rainforest. It's not even qualified as that. But they pick you up from the airport, put you in these nice Mitsubishi vans, Toyota, Datsun, and they take you to where you gotta go. You never see how the interior of the real Costa Rica, how the real people live, the abject poverty. Believe me, there's poverty. If you ever walk around the capital, San Juan, not to be confused with San Juan Capistrano in California, San Jose. San Jose, Costa Rica is a garbage hole. Literally. You ever walk into the farmer's market at night, in the afternoon, or go in the early morning? Got some serious rats there. Trust me. We are our own worst enemies. And we're not doing anything to correct the issues. Yet, Costa Rica is deemed a green country. Green my Aunt Tilly. The only thing green that they're worried about is the green of the American dollar. That's tourist dollar. Now, it is funny that Trumpy is in communication with the Taliban. Let's see, the Taliban, weren't they? It goes to show you. Foreign policy is really sucky with Trumpy. Gee, I rhymed. Now, going on politics, you got a lot of political candidates. I don't know, 20 of them suckers in the Democratic Party. I don't know how many are the Republicans. But I've always said they're like two prostitutes. They're fighting, two prostitutes on a street corner. They're fighting for the same johns, meaning your vote. Now, there is one political candidate, Tom Steyer. I like what he's voicing with respect to term limits, 12 years. Screw that. I say 8 years. 8 years, with the exception of, I believe it's Congress, 6-year terms, whatever. But make it, all right, 6 years, 12, no bennies, pull the pin, and take care of your own. But when you go into politics and you end up as a schmuck, and you end up after 20 plus years in Senate and Congress, and you're a millionaire, makes you wonder what kind of salary, or what, shall we say, undisclosed salary these clowns are making. Get rid of lobbyists. First lobbyist would be AIPAC, American Israel Consortium. Get rid of those clowns. Get rid of the pharmaceutical lobbyists. Right? Get rid of the agricultural lobbyists. And any other lobbyists that you can think about. Starting with the unions, big business, labor lobbyists, or shall we say anti-union. For give you a good example, Walmart. Raise the cap over the minimum salary in the United States. Make the minimum at least $12 an hour. Walmart is not going to lose any money. Now, Trumpian is concerned dealing with the Chinese, and Trump's love affair with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. This guy's threatened Japan. Not that we really care about the Japanese per se, but we need to have a more stronger, intelligent foreign policy. What we really need is another Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Herbert Hoover, Harry S. Truman. We don't need another version of Bill Clinton getting sperm stains in the White House, Tricky Dicky with his hand in the cookie jar, or even Donald J. Trump. We become the laughingstock of the global community. We're polluting the planet beyond reproach. And I really think the only way you're going to really conserve the planet is by destroying the human race. Let's go back to bicycles, man. Like in Holland, everyone rides a bike all over the place. And it snows in Holland. It gets cold in Holland. But they use mass transit, trolleys, electric. We have the technology to do away with fossil fuel. But once again, we go back to lobbyists. The petroleum industry. They're more interested in shareholder profits and dividends than what they are about the environment. How's it going to cost you, what is it, $40,000, $50,000 for an electric car? I reside in Iowa, Coralville to be precise. You go to the local state grocery chain here, it's called Hy-Vee. They got these Tesla recharging. I don't know if they pay, because I don't have an electric car. I use mass transit, the bus. Well, we got to stop We really need to get our heads out of our rear end. Like an ostrich with the head in the ground. Remember, the American people, your voice, your vote, your taxes, pay for the salaries for those idiots in Congress and in the House of Representatives, even Trumpies. Yeah, we need term limits. I'd say 10 years to be good. 2 5-year terms, roll your ass out, fresh blood. And 2 candidates. I mean, everyone's getting their boxers and panties wet and moist. Bernie, Warren. Now you got this idiot, Bloomberg, going into the mix. These people are well over the age of 60. They're billionaires, millionaires. What the hell more power do you want? Really? Bloomberg wasn't all that great when he was mayor of New York City. People, use your heads. We need term limits. 10 years. All aspects. 2 terms. Roll your ass out the door. Whether it's a state governor, state congressman, state senator, and even our chief justices. Lifetime jobs? Give me a break. 10 years, roll your ass out the door, man. We need fresh blood in our politics that are under the age of 60. Now, we got this other idiot, Mayor Pete, mayor of South Bend, Indiana. People weren't too happy about him. He's pretty much of a fuck up in his own right. You ever look at the commercials all these guys are putting out for presidential commercials? They have they always show the farmer, what appears to be middle class, the token black face in there. Come on, man. You're being screwed, glued, and tattooed, and you don't even realize it. We got to get with the program before it's too late, boys and girls. Use your head. Instead of voting on party lines, see what they really stand for. Look at their political history. Cory Baker was a shithead as far as mayor of New York. We don't learn. We don't learn. Well, it's Sunday. In my part of the world, it's now 8:03. I'm going to make me some pancakes and make another pot of coffee and just chill out. Use your head, boys and girls, before it's too late. Because we are running out of time. Have a good day.